Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Water Songs Workshop, the place where I work on my character ideas, try out art challenges, and try to make your day a little bit brighter. Welcome back to another Pokemon as D&D characters video. Um, I know I've done this plenty of times before, but this is probably my favorite project that I've been working on. As you know, I was planning a campaign a while ago. However, between school and work and trying to actually draw and become a better artist, I realized I don't really have a lot of time for being a DM, so I decided to let my partner take control. And they have now started a campaign. We've been going for about 5 sessions now, and I wanted to make a video about the main party members. Um, the basic idea of this campaign is based off of Generation 3 of Pokemon, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. Here we have the world of Cronin, and Gigoris, or Groudon, wants to militarize all magic because it is so new and unknown. He wants total control of it. He wants to make sure that no one else can use it without his eye on it. Kahena, on the other hand, who is Kyogre, claims to want magic to be more free. However, she doesn't fully keep an eye on it, and it kind of runs rampant and destroys things. And also, there's little hints and pieces of where she's not quite telling the whole truth and kind of wants the magic for herself anyways. And then Razdan, or Rayquaza, is kind of sitting in the middle of this war between the two sides, and is trying to be a peacekeeper, but is failing horribly, and no one's really sure why he's not doing more. So, that's the basic idea for this campaign. Let's dive in and show you some of the characters that the party has created. The first player in this party I want to show off is Skatro. He is a Harvest-born wizard slash sorcerer now, I believe. He is based on Pumpkaboo. He really wanted to have this scarecrow-esque vibe with a pumpkin as a head, and he wanted to make it spooky. So I gave him a scarecrow outfit, the whole plaid shirt and the overalls and everything. I gave him a long, torn-up cape, and I gave him this little hat. He said he wanted it to be a cowboy hat, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit to have this black feather coming off that looked like Pumpkaboo itself. And then I wanted to make sure I could show off his wizard side, so I added a bit of magic to him as well. The only thing we know about Skatro so far is that he has lost some of his memories. We know he has a family out there somewhere, and we know that he's so far gone that he despises all the gods here in this world, to the point of wanting to go out, actively saying he wants to go out and kill one, which is absolutely crazy for this low of a level, but that's all he's really introduced himself as so far, probably because of the memory loss, and I'm excited to see how his story goes. But yeah, here's the ending idea for a Pumpkaboo as a Harvest-born wizard slash sorcerer. The next character I wanted to introduce you to actually came in with Skatro. This is a Gepeton, I believe it's called, rogue. And the basis for this Pokemon was Banette. Strangely enough, he wanted to have a teddy bear based on Banette, so I did what I could with it. I gave him the rips and tears and the zippers, made him as creepy as possible, gave him, I think he wanted a Wakizashi sword? I believe that's what it's called, don't quote me on that. And I made sure he had a button eye and stuffing falling out. I wanted him to look disheveled. The only thing we know so far about Snuffy is that he's looking for his previous owner, who left him behind. We don't know much more outside of that. We don't know reasoning why. We don't know what Snuffy's gonna do when they find them. All we know is that he has a little bit of malice still left in him, and he takes it out in his fighting. I'm so excited to see what he's going to do with his story. This is the sort of story that could go one of 3 different ways, I think. Straight up killing, forgiveness, or some middle ground. But yeah, here's the finished idea for Banette as a Gepeton rogue. The next player in the party is one of my favorites that I designed, to be honest. They are a human-esque barbarian. I say human-esque because he wanted to be variant human slash bear folk, so I'm not fully sure what the classification was when he finally finished his character sheet, but bear-esque, human-esque, barbarian. This player's character is named Naga, and they've based their character on the Pokemon Beware. They gave him all of the physical attributes of a Beware, including the brute strength and the ability to hug like no one's business. I actually loved how I created this character. I messed up on the hand a little bit. That hand I see as a problem, but I'm incredibly proud of the anatomy that I did with the rest of the body. Trying to do the chest slash torso has always been an issue for me, and I think I finally nailed it here, and so I'm really, really proud of it. Also, the pinks and the whites on a barbarian was something adorable that I wasn't expecting. We don't know much about Naga. They are the barbarians, so they play their character with the lowest of intelligence. They are currently, as far as we know so far, are out looking for bears specifically. He said at one point that he was abandoned at a foster home, and it was like full of a bunch of other bear folk, and they went scattered to the wind, and now he's trying to find them again. We don't really know the reasoning why. We don't really know what's going to happen when he does find them, but I'm curious to see what his story is going to be like. I'm actually really excited and hope he gets to reunite with his family. But yeah, here is my interpretation of Beware as a humanoid barbarian. The second to last character I want to talk about is Mondo. He is a tiefling druid. I'm not sure if he went Wildfire or if he went Circle of the Land. I think he went Circle of the Land. But this particular tiefling is based on Houndoom. He wanted to have the black skin with the horns and the tail. He wanted to make sure he felt darker. He wanted to be seen as someone that would dress a little bit darker and like try to blend into Gigoris's color scheme so that he wouldn't be caught using magic, as using magic in that territory gets you immediately thrown into jail or militarized, and he didn't want either of those. So Mondo so far seems like the more diplomatic of the last three. Everyone else has been kind of chaotic, whereas he's more down to earth. We know a little bit about his story. He's told us that he's out looking for a cure for a disease that his beloved teacher has become ill with. He hasn't said what the disease was. He hasn't said any side effects, so we've not been able to like explore too much into that. But so far, I'm excited to see if he ever finds this cure and how he's going to get back into Gigoris territory to deliver this cure. Because basically, if we get too much attention on us, we're going to be prisoners of war if we go there. But yeah, this is my interpretation of Houndoom as a tiefling druid. Last but not least is my character, who is a monk slash rogue and a dark elf. I bet you will never guess what this Pokemon is based off of, unless you are... well, you'll probably guess. You can see the fan and probably guess. This character is based on Sensu-style Oricorio. So this character's name is Valden, and I know a lot more about his story compared to the other ones because it's my character. I've been planning it for months, and I can't really say all of the story because that would be a spoiler to the rest of the party. So we'll just say that the last name Key has caught the attention of other people. People know this last name. And the party knows that Valden is trying to get to the floating city in the sky to talk to someone about the death of this person. The party may have also deduced that this person is their mother. But I've been slow dripping the story out, and being 5 sessions in, they don't know a whole lot about how he functions and why he does the things he does. But I think you can surmise from there that his story is a little bit darker than everyone else's. But yeah, here's my interpretation of Oricorio as a drow monk slash rogue. thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I really hope you liked this video. I've got plenty more coming that'll help expand this world a bit more. If you were to play as a Pokemon in this campaign, who would you play as? What species would you be? What class would you be? I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you'd like, I have a Patreon that you are more than welcome to join. I will put the link in the description below. There's several different tiers. You can help vote on some of the videos I'm going to be working on. Even the highest tier has a free commission once a month, so if you're interested in helping me out, supporting me, or even just being part of the family, I would love for you to join. Speaking of, a special shout out to my 2 Patreon members in the Sparkle tier, PillageTheVillage and timepixie. Thank you so much for everything. I love you very much, and I appreciate every bit of support you give me. That about wraps everything up. I can't wait to see you around in the next video, so until next time, keep being fantastic, and I'll see you around.